that clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Boruto Chapter 60 preview. Alright guys, this chapter right here is probably going to be, I would probably say, one of the more important chapters that we did get out of the past couple of chapters, mainly because the big thing in this chapter is going to be Amado. Ever since Amado actually came to the Hidden Leaf Village, we've always thought that Amado was extremely suspicious, and it came to a crescendo in the last chapter of the Boruto manga. In the last chapter of the Boruto manga, Amado made it look very, very clear that he had some sort of ulterior motives in that particular situation. Sumire was actually questioning Amado and asking him what his true intentions with Kawaki was. At that particular point, Amado basically insinuated that either Sumire was being smart or Sumire was being really, really dumb. Now, I hypothesized that if Amado was thinking that Sumire was being smart, it would probably mean that Sumire would probably be trying to join him in this quote-unquote ulterior motive. And if Sumire was being stupid, Sumire was actually telling Amado that, hey, I'm watching you and I was actually sent here to watch you. And that's exactly what Amado actually did theorize. Now, here's the thing. Amado is going to be playing a very, very dangerous game. Right now, he's arguably living in the best village on planet Earth, has all the technology, has all the funding available to him, and also has a very good place to sleep. And not only that, he also has all the protection in the world inside the Hidden Leaf Village. So if Code pulls up, Sasuke and Naruto are going to be on the front lines trying to protect Amado. So if Amado makes a move right now, he's essentially giving a lot of that up, which then makes me think that Sumire's health may actually be in danger. Now, again, we understand that Sumire is essentially calling Amado on his BS. Now, if I were to give my opinion, I think that Sumire wasn't necessarily sent there to actually watch Amado. I think that Sumire herself is just curious. Now, just to go over this very quickly, and of course I'll touch on this a little bit later in the video, but Sumire was feeling very suspicious, mainly because Amado actually offered Kawaki another karma seal. Again, I'll touch on that later on in the video, but that right there to us and to everybody, even in the Boruto manga, seemed extremely suspicious. So of course, Sumire asked about it. Now, if Amado is seeing Sumire as a potential threat to all of those advantages of living in the Hidden Leaf Village, we may assume that Sumire may actually face some repercussions in the next chapter of the Boruto manga. Amado may actually slide on Sumire. I personally believe that might be a little bit too far. It's gonna be how well can Amado like make sure that Sumire keep her mouth shut without actually hurting Sumire, because I feel like if Sumire were to actually go missing or something like that, obviously Amado would probably be like the #1 suspect, mainly because over the past couple of weeks, possibly even months, Sumire has been spending all of her time with Amado. So again, that right there would be extremely suspicious. Now, in this next chapter, it's very possible for us to find out exactly what Amado's ulterior motives are, but also him stay stagnant in the Hidden Leaf Village and have Sumire still watching over Amado. It's not necessarily a guarantee that Sumire herself is going to switch up on Amado just because he actually does reveal his quote-unquote ulterior motives. And also, it's a very good possibility that Amado doesn't necessarily have any crazy ulterior motives. Amado truly might just want peace amongst the Hidden Leaf Village. The main thing that we do need to know going into chapter 60 is going to be that Amado's probably going to be at the forefront of the information in the next chapter. And of course, the next chapter is not necessarily going to have a lot of action. That's assuming that Amado doesn't necessarily make any moves against Sumire, but let's say he does. I think a couple of interesting things that we do have to look out for when it comes to Amado is going to be his scientific eye. A couple of chapters ago, we found out one of the ways that Code can actually lift the limiter is by actually getting an iris scan from Amado's scientific eye. We've seen a lot of scientific eyes in the series of Boruto. They're of course overpowered, so I wouldn't necessarily be too surprised if Amado does bust out the scientific technology eye and then we find out some of the things that it could possibly do. Obviously, again, Jutsu on Sumire would probably be like one of the more, I should say, possible situations, just because of the sheer fact that he understands that he can't necessarily overtly attack Sumire. So again, Jutsu will possibly be a very good way to actually control Sumire and get her to shut her mouth. Now, I've already taken way too much time on Amado. There's a lot more possibilities that could possibly happen in this episode right here, and I definitely do want to get to them. Now, the second thing is going to be Kawaki's internal struggle. Now, in the last chapter, when Amado brought up the option of giving Kawaki back a karma seal, Kawaki immediately said no. He even kind of called that opinion stupid. But later on in the chapter, we seen some sort of internal struggles within Kawaki where he was kind of contemplating actually getting back the karma seal. We understand that Kawaki actually does miss the karma seal. A couple chapters ago in chapter 58, he was actually sparring against Boruto and he lost that spar because he went in to actually absorb some chakra because he thought that he had the karma seal. And not only that, Kawaki also knows that the karma seal also makes him a lot stronger than he is right now. And of course, to protect Naruto, which was a very big theme in the last two chapters, they have to be as strong as possible. And of course, the elephant in the room is going to be the first scene in the first episode where Kawaki also has the karma seal. We know that Kawaki eventually is going to get the karma seal back. We just don't know how. And I would not be surprised 100% if this right here is going to be how Kawaki gets his karma seal back. Now, I think this chapter has to have some sort of element of Boruto. We understand that Boruto has had some very important plot lines over the past couple of chapters of Boruto, but in the last chapter of Boruto, he just wasn't in the chapter at all. The big plot lines that Boruto has is, first things first, Boruto ate the boba pills. Now, we understand the boba pills are supposed to suppress the karma seal in a way to where he doesn't necessarily get completely taken over by the karma seal, and Momoshiki can't necessarily resurrect. But what we understand is that the boba pills, they have a lot of side effects, and not only that, we don't even know if Boruto is actually going to die from taking these boba pills. So of course, in the next chapter, we should be getting some sort of update in regards to the boba pills. And another important storyline regarding Boruto is the fact that he actually wants to go training. In chapter 58, they made an emphasis on them going to train to actually protect Naruto. Now, we haven't necessarily seen them train yet, and I'm pretty sure Kawaki is probably going to try to join Boruto along with Team 7. And of course, this right here was a serious hint to a potential time skip. One of the things that I'd love to see, though, I would love to see some of the blanks kind of being filled in regards to the karma seal and also the Jougan. The Jougan hasn't necessarily been in the Boruto manga in regards to Boruto ever. We kind of gave up on the Jougan being anything close to manga relevant a long time ago. The reason why I'm bringing it up now is because we actually did see the Jougan a couple of chapters ago when Ishiki Otsutsuki did actually imagine the Otsutsuki god. And obviously, Boruto has the Jougan, and because Boruto is now starting to quote-unquote train, a lot of people thought that Boruto would train his Jougan throughout the time skip. And of course, if we're saying that Boruto post-time skip is supposed to have the Jougan down pat, this right here should possibly be the time where we start to see the Jougan in the Boruto manga. I mean, it would have to be about right now, right? Another blank that was still left up in the air is Kashin Koji. This guy right here is arguably the best member of the Kata organization, and he's been completely ghost since the Ishiki Otsutsuki fight. I personally believe that he's probably going to be one of the biggest players fighting against this new formed Kata organization, Code, Ida, and Damon. I personally believe that him, paired with Naruto and Sasuke, would definitely be enough to take down that trio. And of course, Boruto, Kawaki, and Mitsuki and Sada sprinkled in a little bit. I think that right there should definitely be enough to take down that trio. And honestly, I feel like it's about time that we do see Kashin Koji back. I think a lot of people want to know if Kashin Koji is actually going to meet Naruto, because obviously him being the clone of Jiraiya is definitely going to bring up a lot of feels for the OG Naruto fans. And of course, we want to see if Naruto himself can actually connect the dots, because even when he's seen Kashin Koji fight, Naruto is saying there's something suspicious about Kashin Koji. This guy seems very, very familiar. I think once they meet face to face, Naruto's probably going to know off the rip. He's probably going to 100% get a lot of flashbacks to Jiraiya, and of course, a lot of people would absolutely love that scene. I definitely do want to see a couple of these things being filled in. I'm not necessarily demanding all these questions be answered, but at least some of these questions being answered. Let me know what you guys think about chapter 60 in the comment section below, and give me some of the things that you guys would want to see in the chapter. I think the spoils of the chapter is probably going to be released in probably a couple of days, probably 2 or 3 days, and I will most likely be covering all of that, so stay tuned for that. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.